Giraffe. Fully grown giraffes stand 4.3 to 5.7 m, 14 to 19 feet, tall, with males taller than females. The average weight is 1,192 kilograms, 2,628 pounds, for an adult male and 828 kilograms, 1,825 pounds, for an adult female. Despite its long neck and legs, its body is relatively short. The skin is mostly gray or tan and can reach a thickness of 20 millimeters, 0.79 in. The 80 to 100 centimeters, 31 to 39 in, long tail ends in a long, dark tuft of hair and is used as a defense against insects. The coat has dark blotches or patches, which can be orange, chestnut, brown, or nearly black, surrounded by light hair, usually white or cream-colored. Male giraffes become darker as they grow old. The coat pattern has been claimed to serve as camouflage in the light and shade patterns of savanna woodlands. When standing among trees and bushes, they are hard to see at even a few meters distance. However, adult giraffes move about to gain the best view of an approaching predator, relying on their size and ability to defend themselves rather than on camouflage, which may be more important for calves. Each giraffe has a unique coat pattern. Calves inherit some coat pattern traits from their mothers, and variation in some spot traits is correlated with calf survival. The skin under the blotches may regulate the animal's body temperature, being sites for complex blood vessel systems and large sweat glands. The fur may give the animal chemical defense, as its parasite repellents give it a characteristic scent. At least 11 main aromatic chemicals are in the fur, although indole and 3-methylindole are responsible for most of the smell. Because males have a stronger odor than females, it may also have a sexual function. Head. Both sexes have prominent horn-like structures called ossicones, which can reach 13.5 centimeters, 5.3 in. They are formed from ossified cartilage, covered in skin and fused to the skull at the parietal bones. Being vascularized, the ossicones may have a role in thermoregulation and are used in combat between males. Appearance is a reliable guide to the sex or age of a giraffe. The ossicones of females and young are thin and display tufts of hair on top, whereas those of adult males tend to be bald and knobbed on top. A lump, which is more prominent in males, emerges in the middle of the skull. Males develop calcium deposits that form bumps on their skulls as they age. Multiple sinuses lighten a giraffe's skull. However, as males age, their skulls become heavier and more club-like, helping them become more dominant in combat. The occipital condyles at the bottom of the skull allow the animal to tip its head over 90 degrees and grab food on the branches directly above them with the tongue. With eyes located on the sides of the head, the giraffe has a broad visual field from its great height. Compared to other ungulates, giraffe vision is more binocular, and the eyes are larger with a greater retinal surface area. Giraffes may see in color, and their senses of hearing and smell are sharp. The ears are movable and the nostrils are slit-shaped, possibly to withstand blowing sand. The giraffe's tongue is about 45 centimeters, 18 in, long. It is black, perhaps to protect against sunburn, and can grasp foliage and delicately pick off leaves. The upper lip is flexible and hairy to protect against sharp prickles. The upper jaw has a hard palate instead of front teeth. The molars and premolars are wide with low crowns on the surface. Neck. The giraffe has an extremely elongated neck, which can be up to 2.4 meters, 7 feet 10 inches, in length. Along the neck is a mane made of short, erect hairs. The neck typically rests at an angle of 50 to 60 degrees, though juveniles are closer to 70 degrees. The long neck results from a disproportionate lengthening of the cervical vertebrae, not from the addition of more vertebrae. Each cervical vertebra is over 28 centimeters, 11 in, long. They comprise 52 to 54% of the length of the giraffe's vertebral column, compared with the 27 to 33% typical of similar large ungulates, including the giraffe's closest living relative, the okapi. This elongation largely takes place after birth, perhaps because giraffe mothers would have a difficult time giving birth to young with the same neck proportions as adults. The giraffe's head and neck are held up by large muscles and a nuchal ligament, which are anchored by long thoracic vertebrae spines, giving them a hump. Adult male reticulated giraffe feeding high on an acacia in Kenya. The giraffe's neck vertebrae have ball and socket joints, 49, 71. The point of articulation between the cervical and thoracic vertebrae of giraffes is shifted to lie between the first and second thoracic vertebrae, T1 and T2. Unlike in most other ruminants, where the articulation is between the seventh cervical vertebra, C7, and T1. This allows C7 to contribute directly to increased neck length and has given rise to the suggestion that T1 is actually C8 and that giraffes have added an extra cervical vertebra. However, this proposition is not generally accepted, as T1 has other morphological features, such as an articulating rib, deemed diagnostic of thoracic vertebrae. And because exceptions to the mammalian limit of 7 cervical vertebrae are generally characterized by increased neurological anomalies and maladies. There are several hypotheses regarding the evolutionary origin and maintenance of elongation in giraffe necks. Charles Darwin originally suggested the competing browsers hypothesis, which has been challenged only recently. It suggests that competitive pressure from smaller browsers, like kudu, steenbok, and impala, encouraged the elongation of the neck, as it enabled giraffes to reach food that competitors could not. This advantage is real, as giraffes can and do feed up to 4.5 meters, 15 feet, high, while even quite large competitors, such as kudu, can feed up to only about 2 meters, 6 feet 7 inches, high. There is also research suggesting that browsing competition is intense at lower levels, and giraffes feed more efficiently, gaining more leaf biomass with each mouthful, high in the canopy. However, scientists disagree about just how much time giraffes spend feeding at levels beyond the reach of other browsers, and a 2010 study found that adult giraffes with longer necks actually suffered higher mortality rates under drought conditions than their shorter-necked counterparts. This study suggests that maintaining a longer neck requires more nutrients, which puts longer-necked giraffes at risk during a food shortage. Another theory, the sexual selection hypothesis, proposes the long necks evolved as a secondary sexual characteristic, giving males an advantage in necking contests, see below, to establish dominance and obtain access to sexually receptive females. In support of this theory, necks are longer and heavier for males than females of the same age, and males do not employ other forms of combat. However, one objection is it fails to explain why female giraffes also have long necks. It has also been proposed that the neck serves to give the animal greater vigilance. Legs, locomotion, and posture. Right hind leg of a Maasai giraffe at San Diego Zoo. A giraffe's front and back legs are about the same length. The radius and ulna of the front legs are articulated by the carpus, which, while structurally equivalent to the human wrist, functions as a knee. It appears that a suspensory ligament allows the lanky legs to support the animal's great weight. The hooves of large male giraffes reach 31 centimeters times 23 centimeters, 12.2 in times 9.1 in diameter. The fetlock of the leg is low to the ground, allowing the hoof to better support the animal's weight. Giraffes lack dew claws and interdigital glands. While the pelvis is relatively short, the ilium has stretched out crests. A giraffe has only 2 gaits, walking and galloping. Walking is done by moving the legs on one side of the body, then doing the same on the other side. When galloping, the hind legs move around the front legs before the latter move forward, and the tail will curl up. The movements of the head and neck provide balance and control momentum while galloping. The giraffe can reach a sprint speed of up to 60 kilometers per hour, 37 miles per hour, and can sustain 50 kilometers per hour, 31 miles per hour, for several kilometers. Giraffes would probably not be competent swimmers as their long legs would be highly cumbersome in the water, although they might be able to float. When swimming, the thorax would be weighed down by the front legs, making it difficult for the animal to move its neck and legs in harmony or keep its head above the water's surface. A juvenile giraffe walking in Malawi. A giraffe rests by lying with its body on top of its folded legs. To lie down, the animal kneels on its front legs and then lowers the rest of its body. To get back up, it first gets on its front knees and positions its backside on top of its hind legs. It then pulls up the backside upwards and the front legs stand straight up again. At each stage, the animal swings its head for balance. If the giraffe wants to reach down to drink, it either spreads its front legs or bends its knees. Studies in captivity found the giraffe sleeps intermittently around 4.6 hours per day, mostly at night. It usually sleeps lying down. However, standing sleeps have been recorded, particularly in older individuals. Intermittent short, deep sleep phases while lying are characterized by the giraffe bending its neck backwards and resting its head on the hip or thigh, a position believed to indicate paradoxical sleep.